Reese Witherspoon is something of an acting enigma. For too long considered a go-to for romantic comedies, she's proved herself an incredibly gifted actress who soars when given darker material and who is particularly good with barbed comedies. In that respect, it's a shame that she's had to put up with so much sugary nonsense. But she's an Oscar winner for a reason, and her more recent work has tended to be far more keyed towards her strengths, which is a big plus for everyone. Let's just hope that her latest film, Home Again, is a positive addition to her CV. With this in mind, I'm Jules for Whatculture.com, and these are 5 awesome Reese Witherspoon performances and 5 that sucked. Awesome number 5. Madeline Martha Mackenzie, Little Big Lies. After years without the pleasant, charming darkness of Desperate Housewives, the world was treated once more to a vision of twisted suburban paradise with the arrival of Little Big Lies, a small-screen adaptation with a silver screen talent. Alongside Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, and Shailene Woodley, Witherspoon is excellent as Madeline Martha Mackenzie, a woman locked in a war with her ex and his new partner. The show is basically a glossy soap opera, insincere and hilarious, and it deserves all of its Emmy recognition for not only creating good roles for women, but for those roles being performed phenomenally well. And Witherspoon's performance is one of the best in the entire show. Awesome number 4, Tracy flick Election. Alexander Payne's dark comedy is hardly your average high school movie. It's an intelligently written, foul-mouthed film, filled with colourful characters and plenty of laughs. Witherspoon plays Tracy Flick, one of those irritating kids that always sat in the front row and always had her hand raised. I wasn't that guy, I tell you, I was at the back huffing paint. She's a fiercely calculating careerist who will stop at nothing until she becomes student body president. Basically, she's a tightly wound Little Miss Perfect, and is as comfortable with sabotage as she is with preening, and in a hilarious performance, Witherspoon perfectly toes the line between cute and extremely irritating. Awesome number 3. Elle Woods, Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde marked a turning point in Witherspoon's career. Her Elle may be a squeaky-voiced shopaholic bombshell, but she ends up being a charming poster girl for defiance. She turns out to have a steel-trap legal mind, lots of common sense, and a good heart, and Witherspoon skillfully plays that against her looks. She makes Elle an incredibly engaging, effervescent personality, and she elevates what could have been a disaster into a solid piece of entertainment crowned by an unforgettable character. Awesome number 2, June Carter, Walk the Line. In 2005, Witherspoon won several awards for her portrayal of singer-songwriter June Carter, including the Golden Globe Award, the Screen Actors Guild, the BAFTA, and the Academy Award for Best Actress. Not a bad lot. Thanks to her, Walk the Line is not just a movie about Johnny Cash. This is both of their stories, and thanks to incredible chemistry between Joaquin Phoenix and Witherspoon, who also sang every song themselves, that dynamic is spellbinding. You really feel their love, and particularly why Cash would have fallen for her so hard. And awesome number 1, Cheryl Strayed, Wild. Witherspoon came roaring to life with this heartfelt biopic where she gives the performance of her career as a heroin addict turned hitchhiker, Cheryl Strayed. She embodies the physical and emotional struggles of the grieving daughter/divorcee/druggie who leaves everything behind to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, trudging over 1,000 miles from the Mojave Desert up to Canada. You watch her remarkably play against type, offering the most finely tuned performances she has ever given, and it's enough to make you wish she'd been given more opportunities like this. Number 5 that sucked, Elle Woods, Legally Blonde 2, Red, White and Blonde. Unfortunately, the misguided Legally Blonde 2, Red, White and Blonde really dropped the ball. The first one was silly fun, amusing and oddly inventive. The second is plodding, unfunny, and very cringeworthy. Taking home a paycheck that nearly rivals the budget of the first film, Witherspoon reprises her role as Elle Woods, the most unlikely Harvard law grad ever. When she's fired from her job at an upscale law firm for voicing her stance against the testing of cosmetics on animals, Elle heads to Capitol Hill to fight for her cause before Congress. Witherspoon doesn't exactly do a terrible job portraying the fair-haired, lovable brainiac, but her top-notch comic timing is wasted on humorous dialogue and needless goofing. Number 4, Isabella, Rendition. In Rendition, Anwar Ibrahimi is an Egyptian citizen with a green card whose perfect life is turned upside down when he's implicated in a terrorist plot. It's a great idea, but the execution is just poor. As his pregnant wife, Witherspoon delivers an underwhelming performance that has less to do with her abilities and more with the dreary material. She usually injects energy and spirit into her roles, but here, her performance feels tampered down and surprisingly lifeless. Sucking at number 3, it's Kate at Four Christmases. In this egregious Christmas movie, Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon each demonstrate the classic Hollywood rom-com face. The dead-eyed, self-loathing and smiling with a blank-ass stare that you'd only find for somebody who's consumed their entire weight in Ambien. It's almost like they know in their hearts that what they're performing is garbage, but they go through with it because they're the A-list professionals that they are, and totally not for the paycheck. Totally not. But the problem is that you just don't believe that they've got this perfect childless life, or the idea that they have to conform to expectations eventually and start plopping out kids. You just don't give a shit about them. Which sucks. Sucking at number 2, it's Lisa, How Do You Know? Following the critical success of Walk the Line, Witherspoon admits to spending several years kind of floundering career-wise, starring in a string of misguided rom-coms including this from J.L. Brooks. In it, she's charged with choosing between a philandering baseball star boyfriend, played by Owen Wilson, and a business executive being investigated for a white-collar crime, played by Paul Rudd. I mean, why wouldn't you immediately choose Rudd? I'm just putting that out there. Unfortunately, her performance feels less like a coherent narrative than a series of vignettes in which the character just says improbably witty things and behaves in such a way that aren't tethered to rational behavior. Her usual charm is replaced by tentativeness, confusion, and the exaggerated facial expressions of a sitcom comedian. And number 1 that sucks the hardest, it's Lauren Scott, This Means War. Hollywood might not have noticed it, but Witherspoon is too calculating and self-contained a presence for most cinematic romances, particularly comedies that try to squeeze laughs from the female submission or humiliation angle. She simply doesn't register as the yielding type, except in American Psycho, but then again that was just a weird film in general. In the comedy blunder This Means War, she, Chris Pine and Tom Hardy are victims of a love triangle in which 2 CIA agents who are best friends discover that they are actually dating the same woman. Happens to all of us. While the film wants to be all things to all people by aiming for a heady mix of manly spy action and ladylike rom-com flourishes, it ends up being more of a misguided bromance with Witherspoon as the MacGuffin. She's a passenger, and sadly, it reflects really badly on her. And that's our list. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and head back to whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. And as always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, but wait, there is a reason why I'm doing this in a live action setting. It's because you might have noticed this little button up here. Yeah, it's just like floating about. Now that actually is a poll. You can click on it and let us know what you want to see next on Awesome and Sucked. That isn't me. Just let us know in the comments below or on that. And I'll see you soon. It's easy. Bye. Where's the floor going? Oh, bloody hell.